back to the YellowCard Vanguard channel. I'm your host, Toku from MrTokuTV on Twitch. Every Monday, I'm streaming Vanguard content, and the past few Mondays, I've been brewing up clan collection lists with my viewers, and playtesting them as well, so swing on by to be part of the process. Number 15, and we finally reached one of my favorite clans, Aqua Force. And from clan collection, we received Blue Wave Dragon, Tetra Drive Dragon, and more Blue Wave named support. I'll be the first to say it, Tetra Drive Dragon is decent. I think most people were overreacting about its first effect, and while I agree that it is a kick in the nuts in the year 2021 to have that kind of effect, Tetra Drive Dragon is still a triple restand Vanguard, and I think it'll be fun to figure out how to optimize it. Starting us off on the new support is the big guy himself, Blue Wave Dragon, TDD. Yes, Counterblast 1 for plus 2k for the turn. Very funny. For whatever it's worth, this effect only exists in Force matchups. It would be nicer to have this be Counterblast 1 to minus 1k to the opponent. This way we're able to enable Gallius and Phoebus, also Blue Wave named. But alas, I digress. We're here for the triple restand. After wave 4, in which our rearguard attacked, we can ditch 2 to restand and minus 1 drive. And after wave 7, we can counterblast 1, ditch 1 to once again restand. It is surprisingly easy to reach 7 attack, the limiting factor of this being the discard cost, in conjunction with the need to collect that many pieces to reach said 7 attacks. The new grade 2 is Blue Wave Marine General Kuteria. On van or rear, when she attacks a Vanguard, you can Soul Blast 1 and give any unit 5k for the turn. Then, if she's on Vanguard Circle, and it's the third battle of the turn, you can draw 1. There's a couple of cool train of thoughts with Kuteria. On the rear, she can boost our Tetra 5k for the turn, which persists through our 3 attacks, effectively a 15k buff. And her Vanguard skill helps convert extra copies of our double attackers, namely Tidal Assault, Perfect Coil, into new cards and hopefully more combo pieces. The new grade 1 is Blue Wave Dragon, Potion Dragon. On the rear, after the battle that it attacked, you can counterblast 1 to swap this unit and a back row rearguard. Afterwards, stand this. Normally, you will place this on Axle Circle and swap a random back row grade 2 or grade 3 onto the Axle Circle, and then stand this to make it able to boost. If resources allow for it, however, and we have enough counterblast, we can swap multiple Propulsion Dragons to use as Tetra boosters, or loop 2 of them to get 3 attacks. We've got the new grade 3 heal trigger, and for all intents and purposes, this is just here to help enable safe transitioning into grade 3. Unfortunately, power in this deck does not get high enough to warrant going for the self-damage triple restand play, because if your opponent does have a heal guardian, that will nullify your entire turn. If you do somehow find out that your opponent has no heal guardians in hand, say a G assist, this is a valid option, and being a 10k body grants us an extra attack towards our 7 swings as well. Let's quickly run through our list. We have our new boss unit at 4, Tetra Drive Dragon. Tetra, 4. Needless to say, he is our win con, so we want cards that support him and enable his restand. Aqua Force has a plethora of field swaps and restanders to get our multi-attacks off, but I've chosen to run 4 copies of Terrific Coil Dragon as our ideal wave 1 attacker, and 3 copies of Tidal Assault as just a generic restander. Unfortunately, he does clash with Coil's timing, but there are ways around his minus 5k, whereas there are less ways around Coil's timing restriction. We also do run 4 copies of Potion Dragon as a card that hits 13k on XL2, but is able to swap to the back row and become a booster. Maybe for Tidal Assault? Some other units that help us reach our attack thresholds are just grade 1s that are 13k by themselves. I have 4 copies of Blue Wave Senior Corvette, being 13k solo, but also providing on-hit pressure for the attack that it attacks or boosted on, and also 4 copies of Blue Wave Soldier Senior Baragius, also being 13k solo rearguard in the latter stages of the turn, but also helping us find our Tetra Drives, Heal Guardians, and Philogades. Speaking of, we have 3 copies of Marine General of White Waves Philogades. This card helps make a Tetra Drive Dragon not attack for pitiful numbers, and multiple copies of him just makes Tetra Drive Dragon even better. Tetra Drive's weakness was defensive triggers and its generally weak power, but Philogades helps alleviate that. In the same vein, we run 4 copies of Kuteria as a grade 2 ride for its draw skill, but also as a good rearguard to donate another 5k to Tetra Drive. Lastly, we run 3 copies of Coral Assault as just a generic big attacker, but also a way to replace itself and then dig for pieces later. Our trigger lineup is the standard 8 crit, 4 draw sentinels, and 4 heal guardians. This deck does have a heavy hand requirement alongside a need of finding combo pieces, but Tetra Drive is most threatening when it has a critical on it. There's merit in testing all kinds of different trigger ratio lineups to accommodate for these needs. So with all said and done, what is our big combo turn going to look like? I'll upload a combo video after all of Clan Collection is done, but here's a sneak peek. We need Coil Dragon, Phylogades, Cuteria, Propulsion, and some other set of random attackers. Attack 1 will be Coil Dragon, will activate its effect to restand and gain 5k. Attack 2 is Cuteria, boosted by Corvette, let's say, and this will pump our Tetra Drive 5k. And our third attack will be the Tetra Drive. Phylogades will activate, buffing Tetra Drive and itself 5k, and at this point Tetra Drive will be 22k. Attack 4 will be Propulsion on the Axle marker for 13, using its skill to swap to back row and bring up another attacker onto the axle, let's say Baragius. Attack 5 will be Tetra again, gaining another 5k, giving Phylogades another 5k, now it's at 27k. Our 6th attack will be the Coil Dragon that attacked first, now still at 14k. Attack 7 will be the Baragios, now on our Axle marker at 18k, and our 8th attack will be Tetra Drive, once again proccing Phylogades' effect to become 32k. Our 9th attack and final attack will be Phylogades, now at 27k, and we could have Propulsion Dragon back here to make it a 35k swing, or we could have a Propulsion Dragon behind our Tetra Drive on our last attack as well. I think if we were to cut cards, it would be in our grade 2 lineup, namely Cuteria and Tidal Assault as our first initial cuts. But what could we use to replace them? Some options that could be considered would be other cards that help reaching the 7 attack threshold easier. Cards like Wheel Assault come to mind, also being a +1 when rolled upon, being able to swap units onto the Axle marker for more valid attackers. In conjunction with Wheel Assault is a Steel Whip of Stormy Waves George. I like the idea of putting Wheel Assault behind Tetra Drive and having George restand it, giving Tetra another booster, but also having Wheel proc again afterwards, perhaps swapping George for another George in the back. Kinda cool. If we find that reaching that 7 attack threshold isn't an issue, and it's more power that is the issue, we can consider playing more cards that buff Tetra and buff our rear guards in general. Something like Penguin Soldier is able to buff any unit that is in the same column as, but also being able to provide countercharge as well when we need it. And Tier Knight Halpalos gives an extra 10k until the end of turn as well. In any case, that's all I've got to say for today's segment on Aqua Force and Tetra Drive, and I will see you tomorrow, everyone. Toku out.